I'd like to call to order the Liberal City Commission meeting for this Tuesday, September the 27th. May we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Denoyer.
Here.
Vice Mayor Aragon.
Here.
Commissioner Carlisle.
Here.
Commissioner Harrison.
Here.
And Commissioner Martinez is absent. We have a quorum, Your Honor.
All right, would you please stand me and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I don't think our preacher showed, so will you bow with me? Heavenly Father, Lord God, we just thank you for the community that we live in. Father, we thank you for the diversity. We thank you for the economic development. We thank you for each individual employee we have. And Lord, we thank you that we live in a country where we can come and we can meet and we can discuss city business and make decisions that we feel at the time are in the best interest of the majority of the people. Father, we just ask for your guidance in those decisions here tonight. Father, we just pray for safe travels for Commissioner Martinez and quick healing for Commissioner Harrison. Father, just put your hand over this meeting and just guide and direct us. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, first item on the agenda tonight will be awards, proclamations, and presentations. Seeing none, we'll move on to the approval of the agenda.
Your Honor, I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Commissioner Harrison, a second by Commissioner Carlisle. Any discussion on the agenda? All those in favor? Motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Martinez absent. Next item up on the agenda will be the approval of the minutes of the September 13th, 2016 regular meeting minutes. Any additions or corrections to those minutes? Seeing none, a call for the motion to approve as presented.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion we approve the minutes from the September 13th, 2016 regular meeting.
Motion by Vice Mayor Aragon. Is there a
Second.
second by Commissioner Harrison? All those in favor?
Abstain since I was not here.
Motion carries 3 in favor, 1 abstention, and Commissioner Martinez is absent. Next item on the agenda is items from citizens. Are there any citizens in the audience that would like to address the commission on non-agenda items? All right, please come forward. I'll read the rules as you're making your way to the podium. Rules of the commission. Any citizen desiring to address the commission shall be recognized by the chair, advance to the podium, state his or her name and address in an audible tone for the record. Presentation shall be limited to 5 minutes unless extended by a vote of the majority of the commission. The commission does not hear matters involving litigation or city personnel, and the commission does not take action on subjects not on the agenda unless unusual or hardship conditions exist, and citizens may address the commission on agenda items as they're brought to the floor. State your name and address in an audible tone, please.
Thank you. Roselle Webb, 8044 Road K in Liberal. Coming here on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce and coming here to thank the commissioners and our city manager and a lot of departments in the city of Liberal for the help that we received on the Duck Festival. It turned out to be a great day. Not only was it a Chamber of Commerce weather kind of day, but it was great as far as everything going smoothly. And it went smoothly because of the help from so many organizations, from so many departments in the city, businesses, just individuals. So many people helped to make this a true community event. So I have a ton of people to thank, but I'm here tonight to thank you, the commissioners, and Mr. Hall for allowing your departments to help us so much with this. Without your help, we wouldn't be able to do all that we were able to do. So many, I think, Dave, maybe your shoulder hurts because you flipped too many hamburgers. I'm not sure.
I just took the money.
We just had so much help. So I want to thank the Liberal Recreation Center, the Liberal Street Department, the Liberal Parks Department, Willow Tree Golf Course, the fire department, especially the fire department. They helped with the start and the finish gates. We had to build a new gates this year. And, you know, moving to a new location was a little daunting, and we thought we might have, you know, some hitches in it. But with everybody's help, everything went great. And I can't thank Kelly Kirk, Brad Beer, Daniel Zuniga, Bill Hauk, so much for all the help that they gave us. So, and I especially appreciate Mark Hall in encouraging us to move and allowing that to happen and being so helpful. So I just thank everybody for your help and hope that we can do this again year after year, because it is a great community event. So thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Roselle.
Thank you, Roselle.
Thank you.
All right, are there any other citizens that would like to address the commission on non-agenda items? Seeing none, we'll move to items from groups. Are there any groups here that would like to address the commission? And seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. All items listed are considered to be routine by the City Commission and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a commission member or citizen so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. 6A is acknowledgement of receipt of Midland Area Planning Commission, August the 11th, and 6B is approval of cereal malt beverage licenses for La Herradura Restaurant at 401 South Kansas.
Your Honor, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Harrison with a second by Vice Mayor Aragon. Any further discussion on the consent agenda? Seeing none, call for the vote. All those in favor? Motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Martinez absent. Next item on the agenda, we have two parts. Hay Rice and Associates Chartered. 7A is the 2015 audit. Mr. Ormiston?
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, here to present the audit again this year. Again, we had excellent help from city staff in helping us accomplish this goal. I know the finance department had some turnover this year, and they took that challenge on very seamlessly from our point of view, and really adapted well. So things are going well. To give a brief overview of the financial statements, if you go in, I don't know, 10 or 15 pages to page number 1. Basically, the city's financial statements this year have one notable change that hasn't been on previous financial statements. And that is the city's now required to present net pension obligation. And basically, this is CAPERS. The city goes through a actuarial study required by governmental auditing procedures to determine how much the city is underfunded, their portion in relation to the state's underfunding of CAPERS. A lot of this is due to the 2008 financial crisis, and a lot of the assets that were held inside of CAPERS have not performed up to the previous assumptions that were used to determine how much the city and other public entities were to contribute to the fund. So as such, on this financial statement on page 2, if you go down about halfway, there's a net pension obligation, and the total that the city is obligated on this is almost $8.7 million. What that means is the present value of the retirement benefits that the city is required to pay under CAPERS. We have a underfunding of $8.7 million. Now, from a financial standpoint and a current obligation, the city, as required by CAPERS, is addressing this through higher contributions. And through the city budget, this has been very apparent for the last 6-7 years. Basically, this isn't anything new as far as the obligation goes. It's just the reporting is different. But it is something that is pretty notable. It's good to know where you're at on that. And it's one of those things that it's not anything that the city has done in regards to this being underfunded. The city pays what CAPERS tells you to pay.
Dustin, would you repeat again why we have that? Because the state has not done what they were supposed to do?
Well, basically, not so much the state hasn't done, but the assumptions that they used in the returns that the investments that they had haven't performed to what those assumptions were going to be.
Right.
So, and a lot of that really came to fruition with the 2008 kind of crash through the economy. A lot of those assets that were held in the stock market, real estate, a lot of those tanked. So from 2008 on, basically the CAPERS has been trying to address that, and they have through increased contributions. Probably 10 years ago, the CAPERS for the city share was like 4%, and it's like 13% of wages is what's contributed. So the amount that the city is doling into the program has increased substantially, and then over the last 2 or 3 years, new people coming into the plan aren't getting as rich of benefits as what
Right.
current retirees are getting.
Is there any expectation that that's going to do anything but increase?
Well, through the increased contributions that the city's contributing, in theory, it should be going backwards. But that being said, if we go back here, it increased over 14 to 15 is basically the numbers that are presented. At the end of 2014, it was about 7.9. Right now, it's 8.7. 2015, as far as the stock market went, was not a good year. I mean, it was flat to probably a little bit negative for most mutual funds and similar investments. So as that continues, it's not good. Basically, we need returns on investment to meet the actual assumptions for this to start going in the right direction.
So, and I'm just trying to work this through myself, but and the stock market has actually gone up a little bit.
In 2016, it has. Yes.
If interest rates rise, the thought is that the stock market will go down, and that looks like that compounds our problem.
It very well could.
If that's where the state has the money invested.
It very well could. The city does, or the state does have a diversified portfolio, but yet it's still going to be pretty tied to equity prices. I mean, I know they do have some real estate holdings and those type of things also, but it's something to monitor because basically it's a liability that you guys get to own, even though you really have no control as to how to address it other than, lobbying legislators.
Well, the other thing that concerns me is if real estate is one of their other deals, interest rates will affect that as well.
It will.
I mean,
it will.
okay.
And like I said, one of the things they have done in the last several years is new people coming onto the system are paying more as far as their share,
But we're paying more
and the
too.
benefits aren't quite what they were prior.
Didn't the state borrow $1 billion to put into keepers or put in the stock market and hoping it makes money to go into keepers?
I don't know if they actually did that. I know that was one of the things that was proposed. I would have to research to see if that actually did happen, but it was proposed that they were going to float bonds thinking that they could invest it and earn more than what they were going to pay in interest expense.
In the very beginning, I think several years ago, I think they borrowed from CAPERS to finance different things.
Basically, CAPERS has different rules for different types of entities. In theory, the city owns its obligation. If you look at USDs, basically the states or the USD's portion is supposed to be funded by the state. So what's happened in recent years is the state has delayed making its share of those obligation payments. In theory, that shouldn't be affecting our underfunded liability, but
It does,
it may be.
So in other words, if somebody defaults, if the state defaults, they actually claw back from the city is basically what it amounts to.
In theory,
Yeah.
over a period of time, that's what happened. I mean, basically, we got $8.7 million that they say the city's going to pay them back, or those assets have to perform a lot better than what the actuarial assumption is.
See, that affects affects the hospital, the county, the city,
Yep, college.
college.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
What about KP&F? Are they affected the same way?
That's part of this liability.
Okay.
KPNF, I use those kind of interchangeably, even though they're different pools within, they're kind of governed by the same
Okay.
organization.
But that figures in here too, then?
Yes, that KPNF is part of that
Okay.
$8.7 million liability. So that's kind of the state of the city is on pages 1 and 2. That's basically the difference between the assets that the city owns and the liabilities that we owe. Like I said, the major difference between the two is, our total liabilities of the city are just short of $18 million, and almost $9 million of that is capers.
That's got to be a problem for about every community in Kansas, really.
Yes, no, it is. It is. And probably even the more evident problem is whenever you go to making contributions of, 4 or 5%, now we're 13%, and KPNF, what is that now? 20%? Trying to fund those budgets on that rate of increase, I mean,
I know that's what tripped us up. When was that, Mark? A couple of years ago?
health insurance and retirement benefits is what's really becoming a great struggle in municipalities. Two things that you're expected to provide and have little control over the cost. Pages 3 and 4 is basically the net operations statement of activities of the city. And basically what that does is per governmental activity, that basically shows what each activity is costing the city to provide. And then on kind of towards the bottom, if there's what revenue the city is using to provide those services and activities. And as you go farther, basically everything else is support for those two statements. If you go behind the notes, that's basically the budgetary component of the report. The one other thing that I'd probably highlight in regards to the capers, if you go to page 43 for about to about page 50, basically that's the pages for the most part we had to add in regards to disclosing all the implications of the capers and the discount rates and those things that are provided by capers. And if you are curious about the liabilities of other municipalities your size or whatever, it's online. We're able to download how our pension liability, I think we can go back 4 years. And I can get that to you if that's of interest.
You see all the way to page 52?
Yes, I believe so. 50.
50?
Yep. And it's basically note 7 is.
And now we'll talk about the good news.
Outside of that, from a financial standpoint, the city was in good shape. Basically, the net activities basically we have more at the end of the year than what we did at the end of the year. So we're not going backwards. The general fund's in good shape. Whenever you go to bonding agencies, that's one of the things that they really look at is general fund and how that's performing. From the city standpoint, that the general fund seems to be in pretty stable to good condition. And if there's any questions that any of you would have.
Any further questions for Mr. Ormiston? Then, gentlemen, I'd entertain a motion to approve the 2015 audit as presented.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion to approve the 2015 audit.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Carlisle with a second by Vice Mayor Aragon. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Martinez absent. I just would like to thank city staff, finance department, for working closely with Hay Rice and Associates and continually just being an open book for them. literally. So, but makes everyone's job a little bit easier. So,
Given the challenges they had this year, they really responded well.
you bet. And Maddie stepping back in at the last, in the 11th hour, and, you know, so, but we appreciate what you guys do. 7B would be the 2016 audit contract.
Your Honor, I'll be abstaining from this.
Okay.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion we approve the contract with A. Rice and Associates for the 2016 audit contract.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Carlisle with a second by Vice Mayor Aragon. Any discussion on the contract? All those in favor? Motion carries 3 in favor, 1 abstention, Commissioner Harrison, and Commissioner Martinez is absent.
If anything else would come up or you have any additional questions, please feel free to call.
Thank you.
Thank you, Justice. All right, next item on the agenda is agenda item number 8, which is Resolution 2247, Vehicle Abatements. Mr. Durkee.
Hello, how's everyone doing tonight?
Good.
Okay, I'm here to present resolution number 2247, vehicle abatement of 310 North Grant and 324 North Grant. 310 North Grant has 3 vehicles parked in the yard, 1 with expired tags, 1 is inoperable. And 324 has a trailer with expired tags and a Ford Taurus with no tag and parked in yard.
Your Honor, I make a motion to approve or adopt resolution number 2247.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Harrison with a second by Vice Mayor Aragon. Any further discussion?
I know this doesn't have to do with this, but I was down there in this area this morning, and there's some old Mustangs there on 3rd and Grant
Okay.
that has some weeds growing around it, parked on the street. So,
I'll look into it.
okay,
These look like fairly new
vehicles.
vehicles, and that enclosed trailer looks like it's in pretty nice shape.
Yeah, just
Have they,
expired tag.
have you talked to the folks individually?
No, I sent out letters back in April.
Okay.
I have received
No
no
response?
response.
Really? Wow.
Yep.
Okay. I guess this might get their attention.
I hope so.
So, all right, any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Martinez absent. Resolution, agenda item number 9, Resolution 2248, Environmental Abatement.
Okay, this is for presenting resolution number 2248, residential abatement of 310 North Grant, 318, and 324 North Grant. Same property, there's just various types of trash and debris and things like that.
Your Honor, I make a motion to adopt resolution number 2248, residential abatement.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Harrison, a second by Commissioner Carlisle. Any further discussion on the environmental abatements, Resolution 2248? Seeing none, all those in favor? Again, motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Martinez absent. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you.
Next item is on the agenda is agenda item number 10, which is a board appointment to the Planning and Zoning Board. Kevin, Mr. Kirk.
Mayor, Commissioners, good evening. City staff is requesting the approval of Stephen Norton's application to serve on the Liberal Metropolitan Area Board of Zoning Appeals and on the Liberal Metropolitan Area Planning Commission to fill the vacant city position. This matter went before the Board of Zoning Appeals and the Planning Commission on September 8, 2016, with a majority vote to recommend for the approval of Mr. Norton's application. Staff requests the Commission's approval on this matter.
Kevin, do you have any other applicants?
We had 3 other applicants, and the board went through all 3, and it came down to 2, and then they voted on the 2, and then he was the final.
For future meetings, could we please see those other applicants?
Sure,
in
I have
our
them now if
packets?
you'd like to look them over.
Just for future reference.
Sure will.
Do you have any more openings on the?
We have a county position, and we have 2 applicants at this time for those, so we should have a full board by the end of the year.
Okay.
Perfect, okay. Any questions for Mr. Kirk?
Your Honor, I make a motion we approve Mr. Stephen Norton for the Planning Commission and Board of Zoning.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Carlisle, a second by Vice Mayor Aragon. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Martinez absent.
Thank
Thank you, Kevin. All right, next item up on the agenda item number 11. Again, we have two parts. 11A is a new phone system. We have Mr. Quinn.
Good evening. Come to you this evening to get our new phone system approved. Our old phone system hasn't been updated for over 20 years. We do not have voicemail or conference calling right now. This new system will be able to indicate weather, games, building rentals, you name it. You can have over, I believe it's 20-some voicemail boxes set up. This will give the community better access to all our events and keep them up to date, even after work hours are over. So, questions?
Approximately how many phones are you looking at? in
8
Libby's?
phones.
8 phones?
We do have one phone that we let the kids be able to call their parents, pick them up, or it's an outside line.
How many phone lines do you have?
We have 5 phones on.
Your Honor, I make a motion to approve the quote of $2,462.83 for the equipment and labor for a new phone system for Parks and Rec.
Motion by Commissioner Harrison with a second by Vice Mayor Aragon. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Martinez absent. 11B, board appointment to the Parks and Rec Board.
We have one vacant spot open right now at the Parks and Rec Advisory Board. We have one applicant, Glenn Skeety Polton, has applied for this position. No other applicants at this time have applied.
Any questions for Mr. Quinn? Not to entertain a motion to approve Glenn Skeety Polton to the Parks and Rec Board.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion to approve Glenn Skeety Polton to the Recreation Department.
Second.
Board.
Motion by Commissioner Carlisle, second by Commissioner Harrison. Any further discussion? All those in favor? 4-0 with Commissioner Martinez absent. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, next item up on the agenda will be agenda item number 12, Police Department, 2 parts again, Part 12A, AIX System Upgrade. Police Chief Sill.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, Spillman's telling us in order for us to receive any further updates to our records management system, we need to upgrade the AIX system. This can be done remotely through IBM at a cost of $3,000. As you well know, we've had Spillman since 2011. It's our main and our only records management system, and we're just going to have to continue with the upgrades as they bring them out. Otherwise, we'll run into the same problem we did with Sleuth when that fell through with us.
Your Honor, I make a motion we approve the upgrade of the AIX system with a cost of $3,000 for the Police Department.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Carlisle, with second by Vice Mayor Aragon. Any further discussion? About how often do they come out? About every 3 years with upgrades, you think?
Oh, no, they're coming out, they come out with new patches fairly regular.
Okay.
I mean, I say fairly regular, we could get several in a year or, only a couple in a year, but they're always coming out with new upgrades.
Okay. Well, I think it's important to stay on top of it as much as possible and as much as budget allows. So, all right, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner
Thank you.
Martinez absence. Let's see, we have 12B, Case Cracker Interview Room System.
We have 5 interview rooms, all of them with recorded audio and video recording. For many years now, we have used a security type system that we've upgraded to audio. If you recall here, not too long ago, we rebuilt that system with the same security type system only because we just didn't have the funding to upgrade it to a more sophisticated network. However, we're to the point now where the county attorney is dissatisfied with the quality of those video recordings. We're dissatisfied with it. He has agreed to pay half of what it would cost to upgrade 2 rooms. What that would do for us then is we would have 2 primary rooms that we would use for audio recording, and we'd have 3 additional rooms for backup recordings. The total cost of that for the 2 rooms with the system that we're recommending is $12,945, splitting that between the county attorney's office and us. We looked at 2 primary systems that would meet the needs that we were looking at, one of which is Case Cracker that we're recommending, the other is Star Witness. 2 very similar systems. The only difference is Star Witness was significantly higher, so we chose to go with Case Cracker. This would leave us with 3 rooms with the equipment that we currently have installed. There may be, well, I'm anticipating there's going to be some additional cost to install it. Case Cracker could send out a technician. They don't have anybody locally. So in order to do that, obviously we're going to have to pay for their travel, room and board and all that. They saying we can either install it ourselves or locate a local technician to do it. We've been in contact, or we've requested Textile to come out and take a look. We've not received any word back yet. Our IT department and some staff within that are technically knowledgeable think that we can probably install this ourselves.
There's a young man right next to Textile.
Taylor, Technology for All.
Yeah. You might try him.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll look at either way. We're anticipating if we farm that out, it'll probably cost us an additional $1,000, $1,500. That's just a guesstimate right now on our part, which the county attorney's agreed to pay for half that installation as well.
I believe the name's Taylor Hardin.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very knowledgeable.
Okay, so you're asking for the $64,7250, is that correct?
Well, it depends on how finance wants to do it. If they want to pay the whole bill up front and then we bill the county attorney's office, the total bill is going to be $12,945. I think we can work that out with our finance department and decide, do we want to pay it all up front and then bill the county attorney's office, or do we want to?
What's your request for? $12,000?
We budgeted $7,000 for this project. We have $7,000 in the budget. I don't see any problem.
Go with that with the understanding that attorneys will reimburse, go with the $12,000 and then with the understanding that we will be reimbursed.
Are we going to need to add this $1,500 into an installation? I think we need to.
I think we would. That would be.
So
you're
what would
looking
be
at
the max?
Not to
$15,000.
exceed 14.
Well,
Not to exceed
15,000. With, my motion would be to approve the purchase of the crack case software and other stuff, plus installation, at a cost not to exceed $15,000, with 50% of the total project to come from
to be reimbursed by the county attorney.
County attorney's office.
Okay.
That good enough?
Second.
Motion by
Did you get all
Commissioner.
that, Alicia?
Motion by Commissioner Harrison, a second by Vice Mayor Aragon. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Commissioner Martinez absent. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
13A, Southwest Kansas Coalition 2017 Lobbyist Renewal.
Mayor, Commissioners, I know you're familiar and some of you attended our Southwest Coalition meeting just recently. It is one of those that this comes around each year all the cities must agree to the lobbyist. It is one of those that I know each city is going before their commission to approve that. We do put in our budget $14,000. It is one of those, should the commission approve that, but it has been around the area of $11,000 that we do. So what is not spent would carry over for the renewal of the next year. But that would be to retain the services of Penninger and Smith.
And if I remember right from that meeting, the costs were actually going down this year because there was some leftover money. So.
Yes, sir.
Mark, you and Joe work more with these guys than anybody. What's your opinion?
I think, in fact, the public's invited to attend on Thursday, the 29th.
Yes, this Thursday, 11:30 to 1 at the depot.
They are very knowledgeable. This meeting is truly for the public to understand that they do have a voice in the legislature.
Well,
Topeka.
I guess the question I'm asking is, you guys get a lot of information. I know you share that with us from time to time. And the question is, do you feel like it's...
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Where are they out of? Are they out of Topeka or?
Topeka and Overland Park.
Overland Park area, yeah. But they do have ties, I believe. Mr. Pinniger was from Ulysses.
Yeah.
Ulysses
Yes,
area.
right, Joe.
He was born and raised in Ulysses. What I base it on is feedback from our legislators, who they lobby to. And from when we started this, with these guys, I believe Reed Petty was our representative, now Shannon Francis, and they both have stated that the information they receive from these guys is invaluable because they present the facts, the big picture, and then let them make up their own minds. Don't tell them how to vote. They, every Sunday evening, they have a get-together with all the Southwest, with all the legislators that they represent, and brief them on what they could be facing as far as bills and committees and things like that the coming week. And because, as I'm sure you've visited with Shannon, that they can't be everywhere all the time. And Pinninger and Smith, they've done a very instrumental in a lot of things that the coalition has been pushing. We had, who was that other guy we had first?
The ex-governor.
Yeah, Robin Jennison. We had Robin Jennison at first.
Was he an ex-governor?
No, he was an ex-senator, but just definitely was not getting our bang for our buck. If he were back, I would say we'd cancel the contract. But with these guys, come highly respected in the Capitol. And they can, as was mentioned at that meeting at the depot, they can open doors that even the League of Municipalities cannot open. So,
And they answered every question.
Yeah. If Garden
Sorry,
City,
I couldn't
Dodge
make
City,
that.
if any of the communities want a one-on-one meeting with a legislator, these guys can make it happen. So I definitely think it's worth the...
Are you wanting one motion or you want this split in two different motions?
We probably should do two since we're expending funds on the first one. So we would ask for a motion to approve the renewal of the contract for the City of Liberal's portion in the amount of $14,000 for the retention of Pinninger and Smith services.
There you go.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion, we approve the 2017 Southwest Kansas Coalition Lobbyist Renewal Contract in the amount of $14,000. Come from the economic development portion of the 1 cent sales tax.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Carlisle, second by Commissioner Harrison. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Martinez absent. 13B, which will be the legislative policy.
Mayor, Commissioners, you have, and this is, I think, Commissioners that were present at the meeting, this is a collaborative effort to come up with basically a legislative agenda that we can put before not only members of the state legislature, but also Kansas representatives in Washington, D.C. And this gives an inside look to what we three cities, we do listen to Hayes, but it is one of those, the three voting members, this is something that we work on together to make a statement and send out information of our beliefs for Southwest Kansas. It does vary from year to year, and that's why it's a living document that goes forward, and any changes, all the cities can make recommendations.
Basically what this this policy is. This is something printable that will be handed to the all the legislators so that they know where the Southwest Kansas Coalition stands. It has been pared down from, I think, 9 pages down to a workable 5, maybe 6 with the cover, because you just hand somebody something that's got a ton of verbiage, they're just going to toss it aside. So at that meeting the other night, we all 3 communities sat and pared it down to a workable document that could be handed out and gone through, over lunch.
The other thing, if you'll notice, they've added, if you remember the other was more of writing, they've added a few pictures from each of the communities to actually give them more of a feel of what it's like to be in Southwest Kansas.
Any questions on the policy?
Why don't I make a motion to approve, what do you call it?
To adopt
2017 Southwest Kansas Coalition Legislative Policy.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Harrison with a second by Vice Mayor Aragon. Any further discussion? Those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Martinez absent. Next item will be agenda item number 14, Kansas Avenue Project Phase 3 and 4.
Mayor, Commissioners, I'll try to run through this and give an idea of what staff is. We had actually some progression of certain things up north that has warranted us to consider getting some of the items for reconstruction of Kansas Avenue this year, and then going for the finish of next year. The economic portion of it would basically be from the intersection of Tucker Road and Kansas Avenue, going to the exit of the city onto Highway 83. It is, and made a note, and there's in your packet, is we've had for many of the years traffic congestion. We have not had a great number of accidents, but it's been confusing. And if some of you remember, many, many years ago at Hutch's, this was filled in, and the owner at that time went bankrupt, and basically the city ended up having to pay for this 100% to fill that in. It is going back. This diagram that you see, those are medians or islands that would allow, basically south of 16th, the configuration will just be more or less markings. But as you go forward, it's trying to clean up those areas, as you want to have somebody pulling out in that neutral zone, I guess you want to call it.
Chicken lane is what Commissioner Bob
as far
Carlo
as you
used to call
can. It will allow, from the shopping center, you to actually go north or cross over to go south. It does sit there and say that you can go north and turn into 17th and come into the Hutchison's entrance there, which is a safer way, but it does keep them from shooting across and then going north. It also clean up 17th, and we feel will also take out the gray spots, gray areas up there at 18th. From then on, what the staff has proposed in this is that we are going to address, we will always watch the finances of the project, but keeping in within our CIP program that we will hope to look to is a rock type look that will be consistent in the ditch areas in the center. That will go all the way out of the city. And we're looking at, to fill those areas, there's, the drainage and that, it would basically keep us from doing the projects that we need to do in the upcoming years. So we think this will look real good. We will do a footer on the side of the road.
I like the idea of calling it a ribbon better.
New ribbon. I like that. Okay. But letting to have a finished look, we will on the outside of the shoulders on both 2 lanes. On the inside and outside will be a ribbon, concrete to make a finished look for that. The other thing we are doing in this project, which wasn't done, is the last time that this was mill and overlay, they did not do the shoulders. And the shoulders will be done in this, so I have more uniform effect, and the markings will be of what you see now on.
So I'm understanding correctly, the ribbon's going to be on the outside of the shoulder
Outside of the shoulder.
and on the inside.
And on the inside, there's just about a 2 foot or 3 foot shoulder on the inside, but that will have a ribbon also.
Cool. Awesome.
And as you can see is if we go to the exit of the city, this is some of the requirements that we have, the economic requirements for that area is one is Centennial, that is, the crossover of that. From those points on will be the responsibility of the developer. And we also, if you notice in the old southbound entrance to the city, we have to a point that the city will actually do a deeper mill and overlay to that. We will be working and coinciding with the Pinnacle Group, but it is one of those, that will become an exit for them. So we are going up to where that right-of-way stopped, roughly in that area, and we will continue south to the Tucker intersection, which, if you see in this, the white areas, those will be concrete. We're having good luck for the future. We've worked on those things. Should something change, and we'll get back with the commission, but our intent is both the 15th Street and the Tucker Road intersections to be in concrete. This will also have a ribbon on the outside and inside. It is one of those, we are, even though that is very shallow in there, but we are also looking at the same way with the medium or center island, is trying to match going all the way through the city, this consistent look. We think it'll just add a whole different look to the city and look finished, and we will use the good marking
Paint.
for the project.
Awesome.
That's just kind of briefly and explaining in your memo is because of the situation, we did expect this in 2017, but it's looking like we can start this project, and not only the possibility of the Tucker and Kansas Avenue intersection, but then Centennial. Our hope is, with time allowing, that we would actually make an attempt to do the island situation. We have some different ideas and we're going to look at it. There is the idea we use the same rock as we did, so it looked consistent, or we would go with concrete and do kind of a stamped look in that, filling up the medians or islands.
Hey, well, while we're talking about this, and I think I visited with you some about it, Mark, but when you're eastbound on Tucker Road, right before you get to the intersection, or when you get to the intersection, that thing is just a little bit narrow to have a right turn lane, and that would really help on the traffic flow there, especially now since the schools. If we could make that a right turn lane plus a straight lane there.
And we can configure that in. It is one of those, we can adjust on that shoulder and do some things.
I just didn't want it to
Making that,
get forgot.
right now, it doesn't even, I don't think it's even clearly marked that you can make a right turn on the back.
Well, I have been shown.
Oh, there's no IHOP on here.
No?
Yeah, he's right there, I know where that. Hey, on that Continental, is that gonna have any stop signs or stop?
Centennial.
Yeah.
There will be a stop sign on, it's not truly north-south, but they will stop there and proceed across.
But this won't stop.
No, but The main
Exit out of the
town.
city will be through traffic.
Okay.
Yeah, these will
The
stop.
new, which they are
Well, I
gonna
didn't know
build
what they were
up to
supposed to be.
Centennial, there will have a stop sign.
No, actually, yeah, I see what you're saying. You didn't want, yeah. To right there. Yeah, good call.
But they will have a stop sign, and it is one of those, if some of the commissioners, you've been on here long enough, and originally, and we've had some time over this, but originally, KDOT was expecting us to put a roundabout
Yeah.
to get out of the city, or get into the city. So, Daniel, I appreciate his hard work on this.
There's
I
nothing.
think it will be, and you've already noticed, you know, the look of what we've done so far, and I think it's getting that clean look. You know, we have, which I thank the street department and other departments, you know, on Thursdays, we go out and pick it up. And
Well,
that
you
just adds
know,
to
the question now is, can we have those lights from, what is it, 15th or 11th?
I will say, if feasibly, if there's certain things which we've already addressed and already been in discussing, as this project goes forward, we would actually look at what kind of lighting we could. We are looking into, the Southern Pioneer has a per pole charge. We are now, with our new poles, we'll strictly be charged for electricity, in a sense. We are looking, they do have that this pole charge can be for metal poles.
Right.
It is, we'll look at the cost and look at over the period of years, and if we have this, that it would actually work out that the break even or whatever of this is 20 or 25 down the years, we're gonna look at it real hard.
Well, that reminds me of something else, and this goes back to Joe Seeley days, but at one point, there's about 3 or 4 poles up there that have LED bulbs in them. And as a test project, I notice it every day. Those things are nice, and I don't know what the plan is about changing the rest of those bulbs out at some point, but
Well, and then that's what, we're just starting and working and
Okay.
trying to clear it up. If you notice where the poles go to the center section, those are our poles. Up there, I wanna say, in the area of Walmart, you know, suddenly poles, the wood poles are out here, and then the metal poles going into there, in the intersection. We also own the poles that go around the curve coming into the city. So certain things we've taken advantage of, and we're looking at this as different options, because instead of foregoing the money, we could do that over a 20-year period.
is this just an
And see what it'd be
information
like.
item?
Huh?
Is this just an information item? It doesn't require action?
Yes, it does. At the very bottom, if you look for your
Page
consideration,
3 and 4.
is the Kansas 17 from the 1,700,000 from the streets drainage and other capital improvements portion of the 1 cent sales tax, and 1.1 million from the economic development portion of the 1 cent sales tax. And this is the thing that's different, is the funds will be drawn from the appropriate 1 sales tax fund on an as-need basis until completion of the project.
I would be glad to make that motion, and I would, by making that motion, I would like to make a statement that there's been probably at least 3 or maybe 4 different commissions that I've sat on that's worked on this project. This didn't come up overnight.
Yes, yes.
And I know the city manager and Daniel and Joe Seeley all had a big part in this, and lots of present commissioners and lots of former commissioners have had a lot to do with this thing. So anyway, I do make the motion.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Harrison with a second by Vice Mayor Aragon. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Martinez absent. Next item will be the agenda item number 15, which is lease purchase of a Sharp MX 3116N full color MFP for the Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, before you for your consideration, as the mayor stated, was the lease purchase of a Sharp color copier for the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Traditionally, in the past, this department has purchased their machine, and they do get a lot of use for local organizations, local attractions, a lot of city departments and so on. And as we've done for several other of our departments, we've actually started doing lease purchases on these machines. And so their current machine is a seven-year-old machine, and I believe that she does have, she's entertaining offers of possibly what to do with that machine. So in the future, we might be bringing something to you for that. But tonight, we would request commission consideration for the lease purchase of this color copier from Southern Office Supply for $230.55 a month with a service contract to cover parts, labor, and toner of 1.59 cents per black copy and 8.25 cents per color copy.
How long is this contract for?
I believe it's
39 months.
39 months. And that my experience since I've been with the city, it seems like that's a good amount of time before you start having a lot of issues with copiers.
How does that work on a lease purchase if you do have issues?
They actually service it during that whole time. If you have problems, they come out and fix it.
They do a good job too. They come out right away.
So the lease purchase price is right at $89.91, and the flat-out price is $72.50, but you get the service contract included in that lease purchase price?
Well, actually the service contract, they're billing out through the per copy charge for the black copies and the color copies.
Okay.
I think it helps with our budgeting too, so.
Okay.
Right.
Service contract is cost per copy. Okay.
Make a motion, we approve the lease purchase of a Sharp MX3116N full color MFP for $230.55 a month from Southern Office Supply.
I'll second that. That's perfect.
Motion by Commissioner Carlisle with second by Commissioner Harrison. Any further discussion? Do we charge back to non-city entities the cost per copy? Or not? I know it all goes to promoting liberal.
I believe it's kind of
you've got,
in the interest of promoting the community.
Yeah, if it's bringing people in, if it's advertising to bring people in, it's probably.
Well, I mean, you've got the Baker Arts and you've got the Historical Society, which are funded differently than what the city is, and I didn't know if we were recouping some of those costs for some of their materials.
I can verify,
But I mean,
get an answer
like you
for
said, though, it does bring people in, which puts, people in motels and restaurants.
If we're talking about $100,000 a year, I'm with you, Joe. We need to try and get some of that back.
Sure.
You never know.
Yeah.
All right, any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Martinez absent.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Next item will be the city manager's report. Mark?
Mayor, Commissioners, trying to keep it short, I want to thank all our departments. Want to reach out to, of course, the police department. We appreciate everything you were doing, your involvement with not only us, but the community. But I'd like to point out on the chamber, since Mrs. Webb did visit us, it was a learning experience. This is the first time. And yes, we pinned a lot on Kelly Kirk. In fact, if it wouldn't have pulled off, we would have blamed it on Kelly Kirk. So I do want to thank Daniel, Beer, of course, Kelly Kirk, all their people, Bill, Houck, and like I say, Chewy.
I think it's important to thank their crew.
And all the individuals that went with it. It was a neat and it was fun. It was a learning experience, and I think the result is we had each of these department heads that went by to witness, if they weren't participating, to to actually look what it came, and all agreed that, in discussions with Roselle today, that the expansion of the duck race in that park, there's a lot of room to expand rather than at Blue Bonnet, but we made it in a way that actually Kelly was right, in a way. I don't want to agree with it, but Kelly, it was easier. So we plan on there in the future, weather permitting. The good thing is like in this, we had a weather, and we do have Blue Bonnet as an alternative place to take it. So it was kind of nice knowing that if we did get weather and it did have to be postponed, we had possibility of other dates, not only there, but in Blue Bonnet. So I just want to reach out and thank them, thank all the other departments. Maddie, thank you for being here. You know, Maddie, everybody to know her is to love her, and they've seen her before, so she fit right in. Other than that, I just can't thank them all some for what they do and what they accomplish. And if there's any questions, before I forget, 11:30 Thursday, Penninger and Smith, in an effort to inform the community how they can have a voice in the Kansas legislature, will be here to answer questions and explain things, and that will be in turn our Council of Governments meeting at that time. But if there's any questions.
Questions for the city manager?
I want to thank you guys. See, we're putting lights down there at the depot.
They're, Daniel can give an upgrade. They've been doing the boring.
Yeah, they already did the boring there on the conduits thing, and B&B was working up there on the last three, how they was trenching by the train, and they'll probably be done by tomorrow, and then after that, we want to go in, street department's going to go in and do the bases. And once we finish with the bases, we hope them to finish maybe by Friday or Monday, and then we'll let it probably cure for a couple of days, and then we start setting up those.
Are we going to put up single light or dual light?
The parking lot will be dual,
Yeah.
and on the ends will be single lights. And we will replace the globes. They will be the clear and the white light.
Okay.
And if you remember, the old ones kind of dim, and the globes were cloudy, and
Will the
LED.
yeah.
We're doing LED, yes. That's
They
good.
will be converted to LED.
will the poles be shining?
Well, if they need to be painted, we'll probably need to paint them.
Anything for the commission.
Thank you. Now, so we punched two holes in the,
On the parking lot.
yeah, on the parking lot. We're not putting lights there, are we?
No, we did all there because we needed to find out where the lines
Okay.
were. That's the only reason we all this.
Okay. But it's starting to look good. Really appreciate it. I do.
But it will light that up, and
Yeah, because it's dark at night.
it's something that everything's coming together, and like I say, we're looking at even different things as we speak as alternatives may to come back to the
And
commission.
I got a phone call today on Main Street. Said we should have done this 20 years ago. Want to know what took so long?
Money.
It's a matter of money. That
Well, you got it.
It took 10 years to get the money to do it.
Just real quick, can you give us an update on the stoplights for the, at 15th and Western? And
Okay, other than on South Holly and Western Avenue, the only thing we're waiting for is the push buttons for the crossings. And probably we hope to get them sometime at the end of this week, and then we'll be working. On Western on 15, to get the light poles, the signal poles, that'll be October 11th. That's when they're supposed to ship them over here. And after we get them over here, it'll probably take maybe a week to get everything set up.
okay. I noticed that the contractor was working there again today, so.
Yeah, the only thing we have is quite a bit of problems on the east north corner, because there's so many utilities there. We already moved it twice. And then, yeah.
I see everybody standing out there scratching their head going, whoa.
They're gonna make it work, so hopefully, everything goes right from now on.
All right, any other questions for the city manager? I guess it's open game. So,
What's the school on Main Street on 54?
McDermott?
McDermott. Didn't they shut that down? Yes,
Yeah,
no?
well, they have, we're waiting for official word that it's no longer in use, and then what we're looking at is, if that, when they decide what comes of it, we will move our barricades.
Barricades and
Yeah.
one-way signs and all that other stuff,
Yeah.
yeah.
Commissioner Martinez asked that at the last meeting, too.
Well, I wasn't here.
Could have been watching in your room.
Someplace else.
Could have been watching in your room.
No, that wasn't gonna happen.
But as soon as they kind of give us where they're at in that, I think they were watching, because it's so proximity to actually the walkover, and they're kind of watching that. That is
So many kids across
grandfathered currently, and if there's any new requirement in the future, they'll have to put it in, so we're kind of watching, is our kids gonna be using that to get over?
Well, I think a lot of kids use it to go to the park anyway, so.
Yeah, and that's
I
what
don't
they
see
just
where we
want
could
to see.
get rid of that.
Are we going to
No, he's
need
talking-
where this is where they
He's
all
talking about
fund?
keeping the one-way street and keeping it barricaded.
and it'd
because
be a
there's
safety
a lot of kids
kind of
crossing
zone,
there.
so.
My opposing.
All right, any further questions? All right, seeing none, move on to items from commissioners. Commissioner Harrison.
Just can't say enough about Light Park and the duck race. I think that couldn't have had a better day, and participation by all the city staff and all the organizations that helped. And I think we had a big crowd. It might have been
Yes.
one of the bigger crowds I've seen at that deal. And I don't know whether it was the weather or where it was or what, but it was really nice to see the turnout of people. And I can't say enough about city staff and the projects that we've worked on, and Main Street from Pine Street to Highway 83 sometime in 17. I think that's huge, and I just can't say enough about how many people have worked on this project. We're going back to Larry Kuschel, Don Rash, Doug LaFinier, Joe help me, we're going to miss somebody.
Well, I wonder how far back you want to go. John Smith, Charlie Craig,
Yes, maybe not that far.
Okay.
But Janet Rosal, Woolman. Anyway, I probably missed somebody, but I mean.
Tim Long.
Yeah, Tim Long was sure in on this too, so. But anyway, things don't happen overnight, but, and that's kind of what happens when you retain department heads and don't change them every 4 or 5 years, and everybody plans together. We had a smooth conversion with Daniel and Joe. They've worked together for years, so Daniel already heads above bringing somebody new in, trying to figure out what we're doing here. So anyway, having said all of that, I'm glad to serve with the guys I've got to serve with, even Jack.
You kind of missed him 2 weeks ago, didn't you?
I don't know if I can handle all this love going on here.
And I don't know where Tony is, but I hope he's okay, and safe travels. That's it.
All right, Commissioner Carlisle, we'll let you share the love.
Yeah, I do feel sorry for you. I know what that's like. Appreciate, like I said, city staff. Sorry I wasn't here a couple weeks ago, but I think I was someplace better. Hospital really impressed me. I want you to know that. Most people talk about they wouldn't go out here. I'd do it again.
Since you brought that up, I'll tell you about my experience Sunday morning, a week ago Sunday morning, and I have nothing but good things to say about our hospital. ER, doctors, nurses, everybody there just is excellent. And I'm like you, Jack.
It's a lot different experience than what it was the first time I had ever gone in there, and I caught Bill, I think Friday or Saturday night, and told him that it was probably one of the best experiences, and I was really very, very, very impressed with our hospital and the hospice, so.
I'd like it better maybe if you'd have still had me in there, but.
Yeah, I know you probably would have, but they had to kick me out sometime, the insurance quit, so.
Anything else, Jack?
I'm done.
Vice Mayor Aragon.
I was waiting for him to hug. I know everybody said it already, but there was so many good comments. It was so good to be in that park, and I'm glad we're using it because it's such a nice park and getting the exposure to so many people. And I know there was people driving through town and looking over there, and I'm sure a few of them had to stop and go see what's going on. And I mean, just really, really good things on all the departments. It's really good to hear that, the good comments. So thank you all very much. And there's so many volunteers out there. I wanted to mention Southwest Miracles, Tracy Gutierrez and Mr. Harrison, Janie, out there cooking hamburgers. They donated their time, put all the money back into the chamber, which I don't know if it's official, but they're thinking they made more money this year than last, which is really good.
National Beef donated the hamburger too, by the way.
A lot of volunteers out there doing really good things, and seeing all them kids out there, that's for me the best part. That was really awesome. There's so many kids out there. So thank you all very much. That's all I have.
All right, and I'll just echo the same sentiments. The comments that I've got about moving the Duck Festival to Light Park was it spread it out, it opened it up and allowed, where you weren't all bunched up all in one area. I do think there were more people this year than what there were. And all the city staff that worked together with the chamber and the chamber board to create this there was phenomenal. Kelly Kirk did win $100, so if he owes any money, you can get it from him. He hasn't picked it up yet. I checked on that this afternoon, but no, it was a good event. And again, Chamber's not really a governing entity, but working together with a group to promote things here in Liberal, it's just a win-win situation. So got some great staff, great leadership, and just want to thank everybody for the time and effort that they put in, not only on the job, but even beyond, and on their own time as well. So thank you all for that. And that is all that I have. Next item will be the vouchers, agenda item number 18.
And I make a motion, we approve the vouchers in the amount of $1,326,196.92.
I'll second that.
Motion by Vice Mayor Aragon, a second by Commissioner Carlisle. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Martinez absent. Next item on the agenda will be an executive session, a 15-minute executive session for KSA 75-4319B1, personnel matters of non-elected personnel. The four commissioners will be there. I believe Sheena, legal counsel Carrie McQueen to start, and then we'll
invite Mark.
Bring the city manager in just a few minutes.
I make that motion.
Second.
Right. Gosh, we're like right between. Do you want to wait till 6:45 or?
Yeah.
6:45.
Yeah.
Go in at 6:45, coming out at 7. And then if we have to, we'll go back a second. But, we have a motion. We have a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Liberal City Commission, is there any action as a result of our executive session?
Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to approve an increase for the city manager consistent with the same percentage as the rest of the employees of the city.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Harrison with a second by Vice Mayor Aragon. Any discussion?
Also to include his contribution to, what's that called?
ICMA.
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 David, do you want to
Have to amend your motion.
talk about the evaluations on a semi-annual basis?
Oh, and we can do that in discussion after. That's my motion.
Okay.
Those two.
Those two. So
Yeah.
you're amending your second to include the ICMA. All right, any further discussion?
The only thing that I might point out to you is that we've decided to move to a semi-annual evaluation.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Martinez absent.
Thank you, Mayor.
I'd call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.